Hello, welcome to the June 2020 video edition of the Iowa General Fund Monthly Revenue Memo. My name is Jeff Robinson, Senior Fiscal Analyst for the Iowa Legislative Services Agency, the nonpartisan support agency of the Iowa Legislature. This video covers Iowa General Fund revenue for fiscal year 2020 through the end of June. I will also discuss how the delayed due dates for individual income tax and corporate income tax might impact the closing of the accounting books for fiscal year 2020. Looking at fiscal year 2020 through June 30th, and on a fiscal year basis, net general fund revenue has decreased $189 million and 2.6%. The months of April, May, and June saw a significant negative revenue impact from the health, financial, and deposit timing consequences of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. The negative revenue impact over the period showed up mostly in individual income tax, currently down $322 million for fiscal year, and the impact on that tax source has been most obvious in payments made when individual income tax returns are filed. This chart shows the cumulative total deposits of individual income tax payments with tax returns starting with January deposits and ending with June. The chart shows that deposits for fiscal year 2020 total only $201 million. Last year, a strong year for payments with filed tax returns, that same revenue source totaled $523 million. The FY 2020 situation, however, is not a result of the current health and financial situation. Instead, the low level of return payments is due to a delay in the due date for tax returns from the normal 2020 date of April 30th to July 31st. The fiscal year 2020 line on this chart depicts revenue delayed, not revenue lost, and the revenue delayed is likely to total more than $175 million, although the actual result will not be known until early August. In addition to the individual income tax due date, corporate final tax payments have also been delayed until the end of July. This chart depicts corporate income tax gross payments received January 1 through June 30 for each of the past 5 years. Deposits this year are $91 million below last year, but last year was particularly strong, and that strength may not have been expected to continue through fiscal year 2020. Like payments with individual income tax, the due date delay causes the actual fiscal year results for corporate income tax to not be discernible until early August. A significant majority of Iowa General Fund tax revenue comes in the form of individual income tax withholding and sales tax. Perhaps the most encouraging aspect of the current health and financial situation is the relatively muted negative impacts that are evident in those two revenue streams so far. Similar to the previous graphs, this graph shows income tax withholding for January 1 through June 30. Withholding deposits are up $37 million over the 6 months and even increased for the months of April through June. The lack of negative impact can be explained by increased withholding received from unemployment payments, as that revenue source is up $53 million since the pandemic began to influence employment, and that $53 million accounts for more than all recent withholding tax gains. Revenue from the state sales tax and associated use tax for the 6-month period is depicted in this graph. Fiscal year 2020 growth since January 1 was positive $21 million, although growth for the final 3 months of the period was somewhat negative. But despite a significant increase in unemployment over recent months, sales tax revenue has shown only modest negative impacts. Although June marks the end of the cash year, the state budgets, tracks, and reports general fund revenue and refunds on a fiscal year basis. This means general fund receipts that arrive after June 30th, but that are attributable to economic activity that occurred during the cash year, will be credited to fiscal year 2020 over the next 3 months. Similarly, tax refunds issued through August 31st are charged against fiscal year 2020's net revenue. To summarize, while fiscal year 2020 net general fund revenue growth is negative through the end of June, changes to individual and corporate income tax due dates have delayed perhaps $200 million or more of revenue, and the revenue growth situation is expected to change significantly by early August. Iowa's main drivers of state revenue, income tax withholding, and the state's sales and use taxes are showing only moderate negative impacts through the end of June. The final reconciliation for fiscal year 2020 will occur at the end of September, and it is only at that time that the full story for the fiscal year will be known. I very much appreciate your time and interest in Iowa General Fund revenue. Goodbye, have a great summer, and please check out the next monthly video memo that will be posted in early August.